In this particular session, we're going to be dealing with energy, boosting energy, and looking at 6 potential causes of your fatigue. Hi, if we've not met before, my name is Sievers, and we're here talking about creating a healthy, savvy life on behalf of the Savvy team. If you're new to what we do here in the Savvy team, we're all about helping you reach the next level of health and lifestyle. And so we provide action plans and solutions to really help you to progress towards that next level of health and well-being. So we're here talking about energy. And again, if you are new here, consider following us or liking us and subscribing. And we share lots of different tips here, and especially here on this particular show. All right. So energy, when members become involved with our wellness community, one of the top things on their lists of things they'd like to achieve is to boost energy levels. And that's really what triggered this particular topic of energy boosting. And so we'll talk about some particular ideas and talk about 6 potential causes of fatigue that you might want to check out and do something about, really. So congratulations for being with us. If you're jumping on live, then do give me a wave so that I know that you are here. So, yep, we're going to be talking about boosting energy, 6 potential causes of fatigue, and how to boost your energy levels. So as we go through this, when you really start to think about energy, it's an interesting topic. We have all these things that we think about energy levels, and lots of complaints like coffee didn't help. Pass me the jumper cables. If you've ever felt like that in the morning, then you understand what fatigue can really be like. I like this particular one here, that tired I am, sleep I must, if you're into Star Wars and Yoda. And, it's interesting that many community members really suggest that this is what life has been like, that, they get home from work and they just have no more energy left to enjoy the good things in life. They give everything to their profession and their job, and then when they get home, they're might get through dinner and then sit on the lounge and then fall asleep, and it all begins again tomorrow. So if you feel like it's been a little bit of a rat race and that all you do is work and you have no energy left over for the fun things in life, then this particular session is certainly could be a real help to you. So we're going to talk about these 6 potential causes of fatigue. So number 1 is not enough quality fuel. So when you think about it, in terms of a vehicle or something else, even a plant, you realize that if you don't give it enough fertilizer, you don't give it the right nutrients, or whether it be a car or a vehicle, you don't give it enough of the right fuel, then it won't perform at its best. Well, we're the same. If you're eating too many processed foods, refined sugars, industrial seed oils, and the chemicals and everything can be in processed foods, then you're not providing you with the right fuel for you to feel your best. So it doesn't take that long to make changes and to feel significantly better. So really one of the fundamental things that we teach here in this wellness organization and the Savvy team here is that if we can decrease toxin exposure from all sources and increase the nutrition from your diet and through supplementation, then you're going to start to feel better. Because if you're feeling crappy, technical term there, if you're feeling fatigued and low energy, chances are that it's the other way around. You've got too many chemicals overloading your system and not enough of the nutrition, the quality fuel to really fuel you. So one of the things that is just so valuable to do, we're big proponents of supplementation to make up the shortfall, especially in the short term, but follow our free Eat Savvy approach. It's available on our blog, the 12 steps to get started, and just follow that. It's a whole food focused regimen, and do a bit of a 30-day challenge. Just try it for 30 days. Eat on the savvy side of the spectrum. Really follow those 12 steps, and you could be astounded after just 30 days how much more energy you have. Okay, so not enough quality fuel could be the cause of your fatigue. Following the Eat Savvy approach could make such a big difference. So any whole food approach would be wise. So that leads us, since we're talking about food, it leads us to number 2, and that's too many carbs. So perhaps you feel low energy and fatigue at times because you are a carboholic, and when you have too many carbohydrates, it spikes your insulin and can dump you in a heap afterwards. So while you may feel that initial sugar high, it dumps you in a heap. Now, I know this all too well. So I was a carboholic in my 20s, working in the restaurant industry, working long hours, doing all these sorts of things. I was actually vegetarian at the time, thought I was doing all the right things and healthy, but I did eat far too many carbs. And I was following all of the recommendations of naturopaths and dietitians and everything to balance my blood sugar issues, and yet I had constant crashes, fatigue, adrenal exhaustion, headaches if I didn't eat, couldn't skip a meal, needed a snack in between meals, all of these sorts of things. And the challenge was that I was running on carbohydrates. So when I would run out of fuel, I would get hungry and depleted and feel fatigued. And so now that I'm more of what we might call a fat burner, it doesn't worry me. I have constant energy throughout the day, and I've built metabolic flexibility into my system so that I can burn carbohydrates if they're available, I can burn fat, and you can do the same. So I guess the reason I share my story is to offer you hope that you can move towards having flexibility there in your metabolism. But you do have to decrease carbohydrate intake to start to train your body to burn your fat stores and other things such as fat for fuel. So look, if you're having too many carbohydrates, this can lead to insulin resistance. It can then lead to diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic syndrome in the end. So, we've been sort of told that carbohydrates, healthy whole grains and all these sorts of things have been the good guys and fat's the bad guys. Well, those decades of advice have proven to be somewhat incorrect, since we have skyrocketing obesity and skyrocketing diabetes. So it's hard to argue that we've been given the right advice from all the dietary authorities. So what we need to do is dramatically reduce the carbohydrates to maintain more stable energy levels. So that's one tip there for you. And number 3 is another 3 potential causes of fatigue, is caffeine overload. I also experienced this as well. When I was working in the restaurant industry, I had easy access to sugar and caffeine. And so if I was feeling tired, what would I do? I'd have a cup of coffee and something to pick me up, maybe something sweet. And, inevitably that would lead to another crash later on. And so caffeine can be a real problem in that it does initially improve your alertness and energy, but too much can increase your heart rate, lead to palpitations, blood pressure, anxiety, insomnia. And of course, when caffeine wears off, you can have that crash. And over time, too much caffeine, being reliant upon too much caffeine and sugar to boost you up, can burn out your adrenals, and then you can really suffer from some serious fatigue. And that is also what happened to me. So, I'm sharing from real life experience here. I had to rebuild my adrenals, rebuild my health from basically being a carboholic. So, carbohydrates can be an issue. And so, since we're talking about too much caffeine here, also you can end up with dehydration. If you're drinking too much caffeine, you can dehydrate your system. And we know that water quenches thirst, but you probably haven't thought of the fact that a lack of water, can leave you feeling fatigued. And so you definitely want to be drinking plenty of, not just fluids, but actually clean water in order to hydrate your body and reduce that fatigue. So that's number 3, caffeine overload and dehydration. All right, number 4 is sort of pretty obvious. If you feel fatigued, perhaps you're not getting quality and quantity sleep. And this is a big one today, in this day and age, with all the technology and the habits of staying up late at night. So, it as I said, it may seem obvious, but the way everyone reacts to lack of sleep and and deals with the ability to sleep can differ a lot. And, you might need 8 hours sleep to feel really refreshed. You might need only 6 hours sleep to feel refreshed. So statistically, it's around about 7 to 9 hours of sleep most people need to be fully refreshed. And when this is tested is when you go on a holiday and you go to bed when you feel tired and you wake up when you've finished sleeping. And often that naturally balances out to be 7 to 9 hours a night. Now, this can be upset with the messing up of the circadian rhythm, being up too late with bright lights at nighttime and then sort of waking up to the alarm. So when we're in our work week, we can mess up this sleep-wake cycle and we cannot get good quality sleep and we cannot get enough of it. So, it's really good if you've been fatigued, falling asleep during the day, falling asleep when you get home at night, you may not be getting quality sleep. Okay, and so that could be an issue. So how do you get better quality sleep? Well, for a start, don't stay up too late. The more you stay up past 10 o'clock, then at nighttime, the worse it is for your body. So 1 hour's sleep, in terms of body clock and rejuvenation, 1 hour's sleep before midnight is equal to about 2 hours sleep after midnight. So, that's a theory, but, it's proven to be true by many, by the practice of many, many people. So try to get to bed early. And when, in the nighttime, try also to avoid too much exposure to digital devices. Or if you are going to have exposure to digital devices, make sure that the nighttime mode is enabled on your, on your device. If you're on a computer, you can download the program Flux to change the blue light, because if you've got too much blue light exposure at nighttime, this can mess up your melatonin secretion and your ability to get a good night's sleep. So you may be getting the hours of sleep, but not a quality sleep. So they're all sleep. We have other sleep tips here on the channel and also on our blog as well. So that may be something for you to follow up on. All right, number 5 is nutritional deficiencies. So deficiencies in trace minerals, trace minerals provide your inner spark. And there's so many actions in the body that rely upon mineral balance, a trace mineral balance. So mitochondrial function, energy production, all of these things are so reliant upon actually having trace minerals in the system. So just take iron deficiency anemia, for example, a common cause of fatigue for women. If you're, it's difficult sometimes to replenish iron through diet alone. There's lots of things like eating more meats, eating more broccoli, those sorts of things that can really help with mineral balance. But a lot of women then turn to a metallic mineral supplement, and this can cause problems because it can wreck the mineral balance in your system and it can build up to toxic levels. So we never recommend that. We recommend food sources and a plant-based trace mineral supplement. Green superfoods are also good for bringing up the level of minerals, especially the iron and magnesium and these sorts of things. Potassium are really good there as well. So another thing that is at the root, another nutritional deficiency that could be at the root cause of your fatigue is low B vitamin levels, especially B12. Now, this can happen for a number of different reasons. Many people nowadays have messed up their microbiome, the bacterial component inside your gut, and a lot of our B vitamins can actually be manufactured by the bacteria. But, B12 can be a problem with anemia as well associated with that. And many times people aren't eating enough of the foods, like animal foods, where, typically we're told to err away from animal foods because they're high in cholesterol, and yet they're also high in minerals and B vitamins and these sorts of positive nutrients as well. So the more you can have a really good, varied diet, if you're eating animal foods is recommended on the Eat Savvy approach. For example, liver is a brilliant source of B12. Another issue with B12 deficiency, B vitamin deficiency, is not enough stomach acid. So if you have poor digestion and you're not actually getting all the nutrients from your food, you could have a good diet, but not being digesting it properly. And this is where you may need to take a bit of apple cider vinegar with a meal, maybe some digestive enzymes. This could make a huge difference in your mineral and B vitamin balance. Now, also food allergies, leaky gut, problems with damaged digestive system. This can all lead to poor absorption of nutrients as well, poor food combining. And so this is where, just taking a really good quality blended multivitamin and mineral and herbal supplement can make a huge difference. Now, there's a lot of information out there where people say, you really shouldn't take multivitamins. When you look at the statistics across the board, most people are deficient. So the majority of people would benefit from a multivitamin product. Now, it's true, some people assert that, you could be getting too much of this vitamin and not enough of that, and they assert that when you look at extensive genetic testing, some people could be taking too much. Look, seriously, that's probably not you. If you have the cash flow to get extensive nutrigenomic and genetic testing and know exactly what to take, then granted, that would be better. But for the majority of people, just getting a multivitamin every day just makes logical sense, because we're never going to eat perfectly. And studies have shown that those who take a multivitamin tend to have better energy balance, tend to be able to maintain their weight better, and tend to be healthier over the long term. So it's a good logical thing to do to prevent deficiencies. So then we have the last one here in these tips, and that's too much or too little activity. It's an interesting one that exercise is one of those things that if you don't do any exercise, it can leave you depleted in energy, feeling sluggish and all that sort of thing, because your whole system can be sort of clogged up. Your lymphatic system requires movement to be able to move the lymph and eliminate the toxins and all that sort of thing. So you could be fatigued because that's all clogged up, because you're not moving enough. But on the other end of the spectrum, some people believe in exercise so much that they do too much chronic cardio, they overtrain, and they leave their body depleted. So they're training too much, compared to the amount of nutrition that they're actually taking in. It's a simple fix. Up your nutrition or decrease the activity, or maybe a little bit of both. So, again, you'll know, are you exercising too much and burning yourself out and not having enough recovery time, or are you just not moving at all? So they can both be issues that many people face when they're struggling with fatigue. So certainly, if you have lost your spark, we can certainly help you find it again. The way we focus on this is sort of a 3-step action plan. Number 1, to boost up your system with specific solutions right now. So some of the things that can make a huge difference are things like the mushrooms, the medicinal mushrooms, cordyceps mushroom, reishi mushroom. There are other Chinese herbs like ashwagandha and astragalus that really help. As I mentioned before, B vitamins, trace minerals, things such as acai really helps. So boost up your body. If you're feeling depleted, it's worthwhile giving yourself a boost in the short term, okay? So boosting yourself up, but not with the typical caffeinated, sugar-rich types of energy products. You want something that's more natural, will give you more of a sustained boost. Then we need to balance your system, so restore the underlying deficiencies that we've been talking about, and that will give you, real energy, not just an artificial boost. So many of our community members, when they go on to, for example, what we call our 90 nutrient regimen, they have said that they, where before they'd go home from work, they'd sit on the lounge, they'd fall asleep in front of the TV, get up, feel tired when they woke up in the morning. They said suddenly they feel energy. They don't fall asleep in front of the TV. They felt energetic enough in the morning to get up and just naturally go for a walk. They didn't have to motivate themselves. They felt that energy. So if you've been struggling there, then some nutritional solutions could really be what you're looking for. So Also doing periodical detoxification programs, gut balance, all that sort of thing can really help you in that second step of balance. And step number 3 is we're looking to build. Rebuild your inner well-being through diet, supplementation, and lifestyle change. So this is everything that we talked about there: stress reduction, sleep, exercise, lifestyle modification, getting the nutrient-dense foods, balancing up your metabolic, your metabolism, so that you're really able to function on carbohydrates, are able to function on fat, so that you've got your blood sugar in balance. This also might incorporate bringing in a little bit of fasting to activate the natural cleansing ability of your body. So that's the 3-step action plan. We want to boost up things right now with specific herbs, balance you out over the long term, and then rebuild your system, rebuild the health of your body, the inner well-being, rebuild your metabolic flexibility, your mitochondrial balance, your microbiome, all of this, rebuild that so that you feel healthy, well, and and even have longevity, preferably. So I mentioned before the Eat Savvy approach. It is a whole food-based lifestyle that's a culmination of a whole bunch of research that we've been doing over the decades. And so it just puts it all into an easy food choice philosophy, and that is free to download from our website. Ultimately, it's about decreasing toxins, increasing nutrients, and we just encourage you maybe to test out a 30-day challenge. Just a 30-day challenge. Look, and if you really wanted to boil it down, if we had to boil it down, you had to twist our arms, twist my arm here and say, Corey, what will make the biggest difference? Let's give you the Dietary Pareto principle, the 20% of effort that will give you the maximum results. It goes like this: if you just get rid of the sugars, if you just get rid of the grains and the processed foods, and you get rid of the inflammatory seed oils, you are going to have a huge change. So hopefully if you follow some of those steps, you're going to increase your energy levels, you're going to feel more energetic, you're going to wake up feeling more refreshed. Certainly many members of our community have felt that energy shift. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then try those tips, and hopefully we can help you beat fatigue as well. So that's it for this Healthy, Savvy, Light Daily Bite episode. We're here really encouraging you to be savvy. What do we mean by savvy? We mean that you are astute, sharp, perceptive, and informed. That's what we mean by savvy. So all the best. We look forward to catching up with you next time round on the Healthy, Savvy Life Show. So that's it from me. We'll catch you again next time.